Hello, hello. How is everybody doing? Gens, Bearish Bull, Blades, no credits. What is up? What is up? Um, I just wanted to get on. We see that the futures market is opening up right here. Take a quick peek at how it's opening up. Um, and so we're kind of seeing pretty much opening right on yesterday's close or Friday's close. Not much action coming in the futures market. Um, but what I wanted to get into today was this indicator. Mr. Ush, long and short, what's up, man? What's up, guys? The TTV song, me too. I'm so pumped for that. So I got this market profile for TradingView. I'm still messing with it. I just got it, but overall it looks pretty nice. I don't know if I'm gonna have to overlay the volume or how I'm gonna set this up to make it a little bit easier, because you can't really pop these things out, but it is nice because it does label a few things. So here's what I'm gonna do. I want to see what it looks like. I'll find good. So here's all of my drawings are removed, right? And this profile is marking these single prints. I marked them in white. It's showing our value area high up here, our value area low down here. I think what the dotted red line is. The dotted green line is obviously where price is at, where the arrow is at. Oh, the dotted red line is the POC. Okay. So the dotted red line is the point of control. The solid red line going the other way is the volume point of control. I wonder if I should be able to edit these candles, right? Much. And then all the way. Now, I don't know if I'm a huge fan of that either. It does look kind of nice though. Maybe if green would look. Oh shit, let me catch up. Matt Flint, Chris B, Andy Carlson, Aaron, Otto, Dozer, Progressive Martian. What's up? What's up? Oh, you got the notice. Nice. Yeah, I tried to post it. Sometimes, for some reason, sometimes it would just won't post. It's weird. Nice. Okay, so that looks pretty good. All we have to do is get rid of this. This is gonna have to be. Boom. All right. Now we got the new setup. No, so this is not FTX. This is TradingView. Where's James? He's sleeping on my couch right now, taking his midday nap. And then another cool thing about this is you can go here and you can put like a high, see, high res lettering. Here we go. And we'll change the letters. So it's kind of cool because it keeps them a little bit tighter and you can see right where the letters end, whereas the lines, it's not really as nice. I don't know what's going on with this profile here and why it's kind of like that. And I'm not seeing, maybe it just has to load these previous days. I'm not sure. Like I said, I just got, it says all data. Ooh, TPO blocks. Cool. Ooh, I like that a lot actually. If it says lettering. It's all like it's hard to put code in here. Notice how this thing is not all straight. I think it's not fucking easy. That's weird that it's setting like that though. Yeah, this is the Spaceman BTC Spaceman TPO, yep. Awesome, man. Yeah, my weekend's good, Bearish. Thank you. Hopefully your weekend's going good as well. The Cowboys whooped Carolina's ass today, so that was nice. You might go further back, yeah. I kind of like this. I don't know what's up with this day right here, why it's like that. Oh, you know what it is? I know what it is. 1700. These are probably not lined up. That's a composite though. It just levels. Well, I'll just have to mess with it and we'll have to keep it like this for now. Oh, there's a limitation of 500 characters per script. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that's just, yeah, sucks. No, Mafflin, this is the Spaceman BTC. So if you go to indicators, type in Spaceman, oops, it'll be right here. Where's it at? Am I fucking blind? I think it's this one right here. Yeah. No, this is the non-overlay. It's this one. But like I got a subscription for it, and so they all just come up right here. It's a space time profile advanced, but it's under just Spaceman BTC. That's his name. And then if you're interested, you can always just go to his website at spacemanbtc.com. I think it is. Yes, spacemanbtc.com. So the same thing as his profile. All right. So now that we've got that figured out, let's go back to our chart. And what we can do, so it's just double marking our single print. We just have to put our single prints in a different color. Go for prints, mark them in. Perfect. So what is going to happen next? Now that we've got these back, we can change. Oops. And get rid of that green that it has, red that it has. I don't know why, but I just like the standard red and green that it has. It's just like they're just not good. I don't know. I just don't like them. But I'm just testing this out because I want to see, I want to see if I like it. It'd be nice to have everything all on one chart. You know what I mean? Not having to kind of switch back and forth and back and forth in between. Um, what's it called? EXO charts and all that. I don't think it's free. No, this one that I have is not free. Yeah, it's such a tough it's such a tough code to do. But it looks cool. It's nice that it marks highs and lows. I don't have to mark. It's gonna mark single prints. He was saying that it's gonna mark pours and highs. Um, Christmas colors, yeah, basically. This market's basically like Christmas every day. But yeah, so let's pop into it. And the first thing we're gonna do today is we're actually gonna pop out to a 1 month chart. And the reason that we're gonna do this, all the indicators. Oh, there's a way to hide them, right? This one. Boom. Okay. So the reason we'll pop out to a monthly chart first is because we just ended the month, right? So it's like, yeah, and Druthers is good too. If you guys haven't, I don't know if if you've put yours on, but I definitely like how yours looks. Yeah, I'm gonna look at some stocks here in a bit. So we're taking a peek at Bitcoin here, and we're seeing the end of the month finishing, pretty good. Previous month of September, or already off to a good start. I mean, in the first of the month, but we can see September did end up being a red month, kind of like we were expecting. And what we're gonna do here is, oh, this trend. Can't just hide all of them. We will make this pink or oh fuck. Say monthly trend. All right, let's zoom in and try to see if we're not cutting through anything crazy. Be cool if it hid the other drawings, but it doesn't. This is the current month of October, right? We'll swing it like that. Perfect. All right. And so we can kind of see the two different trends that we have coming off the bottom and coming off the top. So we're kind of squeezing in. We had a big fall, got some support, and this is more on a monthly level, right? So let's go back in a little bit, zoom into the daily. I know it's kind of tough to see. Let's knock all these off real quick. So on the daily, at least for the past week, you can see we've kind of been trending to the downside, but we have made what seems to be a higher high. So we popped up, made a higher low, popped up, made a higher low, took this big dip, didn't break. Really, the line in the sand was at 27,697, didn't break it. Now we're popping up, kind of putting in a higher low as well here, coming up to a very significant level. We're at the 50,000 level. So let's zoom all the way in and figure out what the trade plan is going to be. So most recently, you can see we popped above the, let's just show in mark profile. Okay, so we can see we popped above our resistance zone. We got into a little bit of those single prints, weren't able to hold those single prints, and now shorted back down into value. So we'll see here. This is going to be kind of a make or break moment. I had put a message out earlier that said that we were defending the VWAP really nicely, and if we continue to do that, we can see some real upside. But if they're able to get it below the VWAP, it could cause some significant downside. Coming up in the next hour and a half, we're going to see the Asia Open. That could be some big downside. I'll look at some stocks tonight. So what will the market do next? That's what we're getting into today. Oh, you can, and secretly hide drawings. What's up, Dumas? What's up, Sean? And so I'm still kind of messing with this setup. We'll kind of see how it works out. But that's kind of what we're looking at when it comes to Bitcoin. So now that we're underneath of the VWAP, we've got, we've really got value down here. We have our balance zone and multi-day POC. I had talked about this. It was a similar play from down here. We were looking for a long play with a multi-day POC below, but this time we didn't get any pullback into value. But right here, we'll look as it stays in between this range. So single prints, excuse me, single prints and our balance area or balance zone. Slide this over. Balance zone. Resistance zone. We'll still keep our resistance zone. We'll still, maintain our single prints. Like I said, I'd like to see these single prints fill during the regular session, during the regular trading hours. So that'll start again today in an hour and a half. So if we pump up through that, I'll consider those single prints filled. If not, then I'll still be watching them and carry them forward. On the downside, you have this multi-day point of control, which is from a while back. So it'll start to, and these are single prints down here as well. As we start to eat into this, we'll have to pay attention to see if they're going to actually try to buy it here. Because if not, we trade all the way to the other edge of the balance zone, which typically tends to happen with balance zones when they come back in. So here's a balance zone. You see the balance. We trade up above it, kind of fail. And then when we get back in it, we trade all the way through it. And we stayed below it, and then we trade all the way through it again. So if we get back into it, kind of expect us to trade all the way through, back down to our more longer term support around that 44, looking for some buyers, right? Hoping could find some support here, and we're able to catch a nice long off of one of these pullbacks. But a break of this multi-day point of control, I'm going to be a little bit more patient and kind of waiting down here to this 44. Honestly, because we're below the VWAP, and if we zoom in and if we're looking for just kind of a more immediate trade here, what I'm looking for is a break of these lows, break of yesterday's low, or I guess today's low, but technically yesterday's low, to try to get short. And I want to short back into this multi-day POC. So up there from 47, down to 46, 47.1, 46.1, so about 1,000 points below. And if it just keeps going, and we see we have all these single prints here below, and you can see they're marked in green, which is cool. And I can just take some text and say single prints. Perfect. And so now I won't have to label everything. It's pretty cool. Not myself at least. So if we get into some of these single prints here, we can start to see some more downside. Let's jump over to ETH. See what we got going on over there. let's see. I heard there's a chance that there could be a BTC ETF this month. Anyone have any thoughts on that? Yeah, that could be the that I mean that definitely makes sense there. And it could move it for sure. I'm wondering, does this only work for Bitcoin? Or do we just have to come in here and kind of adjust the size? We want to take the size up. Can we expect the CME gap to get filled at 48,500? It would put it above the flop. The CME gap you're talking about on BTC? Um, let's look at the futures. Close on futures was, well, it's open now, but um, what was the close? 48075. I think it already closed. Well, let's see. Yeah, because the market opened at, it opened below it and it's already closed above it. Yeah, I think it's closed. Oh, it's 50 bucks. 50 bucks a month. But he's gonna be launching an affiliate program soon. Oh yeah, 1K for a lifetime. Yeah. I just want to see if if I like it because I have Quant Tower. And I like it for the crypto TPOs on there. It's nice. Let's go to ETH. Might just have to edit it. All right. Anyways, well, on ETH, we can see we kind of popped up. We are, oh, now it looks nice. That looks nice. We popped up. We're hitting into our resistance zone. We're kind of passing it up again. Let's zoom out real quick and check out ETH on the monthly as well. What I'll do is I'll do this. Been a while since I've been in this chart, huh? All right, so we can see this is a daily. Let me go to the monthly. Hey Shred, what's up, man? Is it Shred or Shed? Shed? DC Shed? Yeah. So we can kind of see the monthly close was pretty red, right? September closed pretty red. But we pretty much already came back just on the first day of the month, gained back all of those gains um, from the losses in September, right? So ETH still looks, I mean, you can see the trend right to the I mean, that's kind of ugly. I won't even mark it. Just how it looks. So let's head to the daily. Yeah, it's just the capability of TradingView allows the levels to be drawn so easily. We have a little bit of a trend here. So we can see a little bit of a trend here. So we'll kind of see how we act up into that. I can't really mark anything here. And then you also have still, this long-term daily trend where it came down, popped it, right? And then you can see the 200 acted kind of as support. I know a lot of people are tracking that 200. I have it up there more for the SPX, but we can kind of see it acting like that, right? Let's go back to the 30-minute chart. So what to expect next on ETH, right? Well, it's kind of in a similar situation. And I think today's one of those days where you're going to have to be patient. You can see ETH has been in a more of an uptrend than Bitcoin, and we can load our charts. We can see all of the levels here, but you could just take my word for it, or just look at the chart and you can kind of tell, right? We had this kind of wedge pushing on to the downside, but at least for about the past 5 days, we've been kind of killing it back to the upside. This blue line is though. Oh, it's a naked POC. Okay, well, that's kind of cool. I didn't know Mark those. One thing I did want to show you guys too, actually. Let's look at this real quick. So last week, you can kind of see what's been strong and what hasn't been strong. Bitcoin dominance was down for the past day. We see a lot of the alts up here, ETH and Bitcoin more in a pack, with just more consistency, from the past week, from ETH really compared to Bitcoin. I wanted to show you guys this. So there's a big, and the reason I'm showing this is because I know how much you guys love divergences, and I use these CVD candles. So if you're new in the chat, I use these CVD candles for basically as a delta indicator. It's impossible to pay attention to the delta single numbers for crypto, but with the CVD candle, you can at least tell, like, okay, so see how this is green and this candle is red. Well, that means that there's more positive delta in this candle. So more people are buying on the ask than selling on the bid, even though value or price went down, right? So that's just something to take note of. That means we basically moved down on positive delta, which is not always always a great indication. It kind of shows a little bit of weakness from buyers, so to speak, right? Which is what, maybe it looks like this thing coming back down to test these prior tops down here at 44,713. Fantastic Human is a pretty good endorsement. What does that mean? But yeah, so anyways, the divergence, the delta divergence, obviously, this is a daily chart. Let me get my straight line drawer out. We can kind of see we've made lower high, right? But comparatively, made a higher high in delta, right? And what is delta, for anyone that's new that doesn't know, the way that delta works is it depends on aggression of the buyer. So we have our sellers right here, We have our buyers right here. When you're a seller, you are asking for something. So you're saying, hey, I'll sell this to you for $1. Right? When you're a buyer, you're bidding on something, and you're bidding 90 cents. Right? In order for a deal to happen, one of you guys, either the seller or the buyer, has to move. Right? So if a seller moves down and sells on the bid, that's going to show up as negative delta. Right? If a buyer moves up and buys the ask, that's going to show up as positive delta. So what this is telling us is that even though this much more buyers came into the market, we only moved up this much. What's up, Cam? So, lower high, higher high. I'm pretty sure that's a bearish divergence. If I'm wrong, you guys can let me know for sure. But it's just something that I kind of noticed while I was scanning through charts, and I thought, who would like that? Everybody likes divergences. But ensure that you don't develop a bias and just trade based off of that. Divergences can go wrong. You look at the US stock market, it's gone up on negative delta plenty of times. So just because something's going not going up as fast as it should be, just maintain your maintain what you know and trade what you know. So with ETH, we see we're running into this resistance zone. Like I said, it's a lot stronger trend, but as far as getting in a position now, you're really gonna have to wait, especially because you can see, they kind of just wiped out all these stops to the upside. They haven't taken any stops to the downside. You can see we're making a higher low every single time. But that Asia Open might just smack us down, right? And this is going to be, buying change. We're above it now, but might just kind of try to smack us down. This is a naked POC, so maybe you get the buying support there. Depends on how much selling. I don't really have a bias of up or down. Really just because everyone is so bullish, everyone wants the market to, or is saying that the market's going to go up. I kind of just assume that it's going to go not up. Oh, I don't like that at all. It's a hidden bearish divergence. Okay, nice. Yeah, it's interesting. I think would make this look better is if I make the background black. That's it. Okay, it's gradient. I see. I wonder if it'll better like that. I think so. Right. So basically, well, nice. That looks good. All right. So we have the delete. You can see the U.S. market is opening within yesterday's range. I don't think I don't think we'll go through the futures on this because I'm not a huge fan of what this looks like. I'd rather just look at futures on NinjaTrader. What I do want to look at is this stock screener. So I'm going to do a couple scans for some stocks. Then we'll take a peek at the SPX and the NASDAQ, and then we'll jump on to the TPO. For that. Like it's immoral. It's just, it's not that, well, actually, no, there is some people, yeah, that believe short selling is like, it's a sin, basically. So let's see what kind of filters we can get here. Reset them all. We want to, what I like to do is I like to search for stocks that are in balance. So let's go to yesterday's, search for high, below, equal to, work. Oh, okay, there we go. This will work. So with Tesla, let's get rid of this one profile. All right, so with Tesla, basically what we're seeing here is it's kind of to me it kind of looks like it's forming out a bottom. It did have, we did see a lot of downside early on in the morning on Friday. And if you get those of you guys that were in the live trade room, remember me telling you guys, I don't think this is real downside. I think that we're still going to pop back up. We were talking about the futures market, but you know, tracks around a lot of these stocks. And you can see Tesla kind of carved out a nice little bottom. It didn't break any significant levels, kind of bounced off of a previous point of control right above previous resistance. So basically, if we're looking at this, we see resistance, pops back up, breaks it here, really shoots up, kind of checks above and doesn't hold. And now what I'm guessing is happening is we're going to start building a little bit of balance here. Now that we're back in balance, so I think we kind of peaked below. We put in a poor low, and now we're kind of peaking above. So I think if futures markets still trend up, we probably see Tesla around 790 tomorrow. Make sure I'm writing all of my stuff down so I don't forget. And you guys are kind of seeing, I guess, how the sausage is made, because this is how I basically prepare. Tomorrow, the Pandora papers will be released. I wonder what will do for the market. I'm not sure what Pandora papers are you talking about. There's a lot of stuff, stuff that the market's kind of like trying to figure out right now. And it's the white. Yo, Luis, what's up, man? How's it going? Yeah, so Tesla might be a possibly good trade if we get a nice open tomorrow and the futures market looks good. We might be able to catch some calls on Tesla, up to the top of our balance zone up here, 790, or even up to the top of the range, 799. Let's go back to our scanner. What do we got next? Johnson & Johnson, not something I really like to trade. Walmart, not really something I like to trade. It just moves too slow. It's not really worth your time. Oops. Abbott Laboratories. they've just been getting rejected, rejected, rejected. So this might be an interesting trade. I'm gonna put an alert up here when it gets up here, so we can kind of see our supposed to be support zones, and you can see got a little test, came back down, rejected, came back down. So maybe it'll get rejected again. I'll be able to catch some upside. If it breaks up top of it, holds it as support, could go long term 119. You know, there is a price gap up here. Maybe be able to fill that gap. More of a long term play. I'll just kind of keep this one on hold and wait for my alert to go off. Moderna kind of looks the same. That's a lot of those healthcare stocks. CVS. CVS had a nice bump up. Not really much that we're seeing as far as um 8 months. We wanted a week. Okay, let's see what we get now. Here we go. That's why, because it was on one day. Okay, so here's Neo. This looks like a good one to try and trade here coming up pretty soon. We can see these huge spikes, and look at this all happening after market, due to earnings, of course. But it's kind of been back and forth, right? And there's a lot of news coming out of China right now, about the, what is it, Evergrande or whatever it is. They give you a 50% deposit bonus. That's awesome. 600 journalists from 150 media outlets in 17. Yeah, I do a lot of options plays on stocks. You ever trade GBTC? No, I don't know what GBTC is. I haven't heard of those Pandora papers. I'll have to look them up, see what they're all about. But anyway, so with Neo, because of all of this kind of negative news, and Neo is real sympathetic with Tesla, but hasn't been lately, and now it's kind of coming out, and we can see the earnings were a surprise, right? And not a great surprise, but a surprise nonetheless, right? But Neo is putting itself kind of in a spot where it's running into this overhead previous resistance, right, which is going to now act as support. And we can see it's been a pretty significant level, once we've actually got up this high for a while. So if it's able to break below this, and we keep getting this negative news out of China that they're not going to bail anybody out and things like that, it could get pretty ugly. So this is going to be one that we're going to want to watch for sure for the downside. And if it holds a support, maybe we can catch the upside. I'm more looking for the downside. If it goes up, I probably just won't play it, just because of how spiky it's been, especially over this past little bit of time. Coinbase is shit. I want to look for a percent change, like so it searches for last. Whatever. Let's look at it like this. This will show us the important stocks. One thing that we want to, that's US Bank. Where's Bank of America? Um, Something that I want to watch this week too is going to be banks. Banks could have some ATVI. I haven't. I'll take a peek at it. All right, Jen. We'll see you later, man. So with banks, um, there's some news coming out with Bank of America basically about how they have whatever I was reading was saying that they have like a big short position on GameStop, and so almost giving out um, some information saying that if GameStop goes back up, then they could possibly fail. And I think it was like 40% or something like that. So that's going to be one to watch. You can kind of see GameStop's been getting just run into the ground. People have been shorting the shit out of it. Still amazingly $176. And if we go back and look at this thing on a monthly time frame, I mean, this thing was down here like $6, and Michael Burry bought it, and you know, went all the way up to $485. That's just, it's chaos. See, that's 2,161% in. Let's see, it really only. That's in 34 days. In 1 month, it went up 2,000%. That might be better than Bitcoin. Better look out. And it looks like it's gathering some support. Oh, what's up, Tim? Thanks, man. Thanks for popping by. Oh, that's what that Pandora's Papers are? Like a whistleblower thing? So, but anyway, so back to the banks. And we can look at XLF, which I think is the financial section. And let's go back to the daily. Or, well, we're going to go a 30-minute chart, but actually, so with the financials, you can kind of see they're trying to come back to life. This is on a daily. See a little bit of a divergence here, right? See how low this came compared to over here. And then you can see Friday we closed up, but on negative delta. So it kind of, it's kind of telling me that maybe this thing wants to keep going up. So it's kind of showing strength. But like I said, if some big news like that comes out, or you see GameStop go on another rampage up above the 400 level, you might see some of these banks start to default, and that's going to be put us in a situation where the U.S. is going to decide if they're going to bail them out or not. Isn't always the greatest position to be in as the government. But I say, fuck them, let them fail. They're about that shit on themselves. We can see the SPX. This is what tracks the S&P 500. We're below the 50. We're below the 100. 200's way down here. We've kind of broken trend as far as this really long-term trend that we've been on. Let me hide these real quick. I mean, you can draw this trend all the way from here, and so as we kind of break this trend, we're starting to see a little bit of downside where we came down to a pretty specific spot as far as where the TPO goes based off of like these old single prints and stuff. And now we're starting to close back on the upside. You can see we moved up pretty good on negative delta once again. We have a price gap above that's still here. You know, I've kind of marked it. But also on a daily chart, we're in a pretty good downtrend. Let's see. You know, so this is kind of my target, and that, you know, it just happens to line up right where that price gap is at. So we'll see how the overnight session goes for the futures market for the ES, and we'll see if we kind of trade back into that, right? This will kind of show us how strong some of these buyers are. And you can kind of see a little bit of the same divergence, more on a bigger scale here. So here's a low, and here's a low. I guess it'll be lower low and higher low. And then lower, higher low. I guess it's not really a divergence. What was I thinking? I thought I saw something. Oh yeah, right here. Yeah. So this is a lower low and a higher low, but this one is a low and higher low as well. No, maybe not. It just looked like it, I guess. So what we're going to be expecting, you know, possibly, and if we jump over to the ES real quick, is a, you know, what I'm kind of looking for is if we start to get above that 43.88 with some buying, this thing's probably going to start pressing some tops, maybe up to this 44.70, and then maybe up to these all-time highs. You know, as far as on the daily trend, right, we're still that same trend. This is, oops, this just includes the cash session and the Globex session, whereas the SPX doesn't include those things. Doesn't include the Globex session, only includes the cash session. So you can see the trend is a little bit different, right? And you don't see that that price gap that we see on that other chart, because some of this is through the overnight session. All right, next thing we're going to look at is some COT reports. For those of you guys that don't know what a COT report is, it stands for Commitment of Traders. And basically it lets us see where big money is establishing themselves as of last Tuesday, right? It'd be great to get them, you know, the day of, but just not something that we can do. So we can see managed money, added 40, took off 50. So basically they cut their short and added to their long. And if we go back to the chart, this is as of 9/28. So right here, 9/28. Smart money or institutional money, I wouldn't say they're all smart, but institutional money cut a part of their short position and added it all to the long position. You know, not a huge position, but they average. And you can see leverage money, which is why I tell you guys, you know, find out what leverage money is doing and do the opposite. They cut a huge part of their long position and added to their short position marginally. They have a huge difference in between actual short position and actual long position. So you can see this was probably a bit of a margin call over the weekend for them, which is what caused this this big upside. Sort of like chain analytics for crypto. Yeah, pretty much. Let's take a peek at the ES real quick. So you can see a bunch of profit taking, but also a bunch of just bunch of off their shorts as well. This is interesting. This is an interesting report. So as of last Tuesday, on the market, let's go over here. And we'll see the 28th. It's not of the 28th, right? As of 9/28. That's interesting. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay. So you can see, so here's 9/28, and you know, we have a big move down. We had that big move up on Friday, but we had a pretty decent sized move down. And you saw institutional money cut their long, so a bunch of profit taking, but they also cut a lot of the short. And then they did a lot of spreads. So that's interesting. Basically, they don't know what's going to happen, is what this is telling us. What it's telling me. Could be telling somebody else something different, but if they are going to take this much of a position off of their long side, why not add it to the short side if they're expecting this big of a position move to the downside? And you can see hedge funds, like I said, huge add to the long side, took off all their shorts, market went down, they got smacked. And I would bet money that next week, if the market finishes up for the week, or even if we get up here around 44, where's the 28th? So the 28th, they put on a bunch of shorts. No. On the 28th, they put on a bunch of longs. So they got squeezed out. If they put their, they put their longs up here. Yeah. Yeah, so it'll be interesting. I bet next week this leverage funds looks the opposite, especially if we're up here. Because normally what they do, leverage funds are gamblers, so sometimes they are right, but most of the time they're not. Let's take a peek at the bonds. We can see if people are adding to a short position on bonds, and this is of the 30-year, I think. Or no, these are treasury bonds, not the one I want. There we go. The 10-year. So you can see they've added a big position to their long side and added to their short, and it's more of a just in case. They already have a big short position. And if we go to here, take a peek at the US 10-year, you can kind of see why, right? We've been getting beat up. Actually, we'll just look at it on the daily. You can see it's been getting kind of beat up, right? But it's just most recently popped up. They've had this big short position. They've probably built this huge short position up here. And now, you know, they're just saying, well, just in case just in case, you know, this big risk that we're taking down here doesn't work, we're gonna hedge, right? We kind of see where it kind of carved out a position. Big levels to watch this week: 1.6 and 1.4. Anywhere above or below those two levels could bring out some really good movement. So we'll put an alert on there, and we'll pay attention to that. Let's look at oil. Crude oil, light and sweet. You can see managed money added a huge long position, added a small short position as a hedge, and then they have a pretty big spread going. We take a peek at oil. You know, you can kind of see it's been on a rampage to the upside lately, right? Kind of found a bottom down here around 62, got some good support off that 68, and was able to ride up. For those of you that were able to catch some of this downside, you know, good job. Because I remember James calling it out. I think it was around like 68. It went down pretty far. So, but now we're kind of running into some resistance and a break of this level. And if we switch back to our daily chart, you can kind of see we haven't been up at this level for a while, right? Besides our most recent time up here in July, but before that, we're talking about 2018 September. Right, so it's come, I mean, oil went negative for a little bit, right? If any of you guys ever seen a chart that goes negative, oil went negative. And now we're coming back up to our pre-COVID, or actually a lot higher than pre-COVID levels. So if we break this top up here, could be heading, back up into this $100 range, probably up here to this $85 range first, but possibly back up into the hundreds. So, probably a pretty decent move coming on. Just something to pay attention to. Then to look at opening up NinjaTrader real quick. I wanted to look at gold. Where's gold? Oh, actually, you know what? I wanted to look at lean hogs too, real quick. And the reason being is because James was saying that with the McRib coming back onto the menu to McDonald's, well, that could mean that McDonald's going to be buying up a bunch of pork, right? So we see managed money added pretty big position and got rid of a pretty big position on lean hogs as of last week. So let's take a peek at these lean hog futures, and there could be a possible nice play setting up here. Go back to where we're at. You can kind of see it's been getting up. We have this upside up here, and then a huge gap, right? Huge gap. So could be some possible upside here for any of my futures traders out there. Watch that. And you can see that's what smart money's been doing. So what I would do would be look for it to hold support, and if not, retest these highs and try to get long around these 91 levels with some nice futures contracts. All right, one last one. I wanted to look at gold. Potential. We can see gold added to a big short position. They didn't take off much of their longs, but they put on a huge short position as of 28. So you see that, look at, so they put on this huge short position. This tells you even institutional money can get trapped. So they put on a pretty big short position here, tried to push it down, tried it again the next day, got trapped, and then got bought up. So that's interesting to see here. And you can see, look who had it right, swap dealers. They got rid of that big short position, and they didn't really go big on that long position, but those swap dealers did better than institutional money there for sure. My windows are gone. Oh yeah, yeah, my bad. Yeah. I just love this Activision, huh? I think this last time I looked at it was probably when we were here. We were looking at this. Activision's getting kind of crushed. Blizzard's lose investors. Looks like they lost a lawsuit. And it kind of looks like it's at a, longer term level. Interesting. Look at this. Like look how short comparatively. Scrunch this in a little bit. So we're basically at an equal low, but someone's putting on a huge short position because all of this delta, you can see it, it's getting pretty negative. But it is a stock, and like I said, I don't really trust stocks. So because a lot of these people, these big buyers, they do all these like behind closed doors, and a lot of their delta doesn't even show up as transaction because it trades through like dark pools and shit. So PVC pipe is 75% up. Yeah, that basically everything building is up. Oh, maybe, yeah. That's actually not a bad point. Um, we could see some more downside. Okay, by it coming like, yeah, I mean, it's just not right there, I guess. With it coming like right close to this and not being able to break it and then rallying that hard, that's gonna tell you straight up there's a buyer right here. And it's not marking it, but it's mark it in green so we can see it. But there's a buyer right here, right? Because that's a pretty fat rally. Um, we could look at volume. So there's the initial volume increases, but you can see as these past couple of days, we've been trading up, but volume's been decreasing. So maybe that's running out, and yeah, and you can see that downside. You could probably look for it to fail off of this previous high up here. If it keeps going up, 83, get short there, trade it back down into here, and then try to leave a runner in case it gets below. It's got earnings coming up on the 3rd of November, so that's gonna weigh into it as well for sure. The link to the reports, yeah. Well, China already restricts gaming with how many hours you can play a day and shit. So they'll never take an anti-China stance. Interesting. Yeah, that could hurt them in the U.S. market for sure. Let's look at futures market. Yeah, if you Google COT, you'll find it too. But so let's go ahead and mark our levels real quick. Oh, we're not connected. Oops. Turn on some data here. Yeah, yeah, they restricted like because they don't want the kids getting like addicted to trading or to trading to gaming. No, not the sales of gaming, just like the availability of it, like how much you're actually allowed to play and stuff. Okay, so let's clean our chart up a little bit. I don't know why it's not on all charts. All right, so Friday's close was right there. Friday's high. I was there. Yesterday's open. This will be overnight open. Gonna be there. We'll still keep our 45 or 43.55 and 43.55.50 level there, as we've seen it just act as a as an area that it's been attracted to, and we've been able to catch a lot of good trades out of there. So it's not a level that I'm wanting to erase at all. See, we have some more highs up here. This balance on up above. So I'm marking the mid. Here it is. So half back from yesterday's, from Friday's cash sessions, way down, 32.12.50 or 32.21.50. So pretty big move. Here's yesterday's regular trading hour close. Get stacked for now until we get the overnight highs and lows and stuff like that. And yesterday's low. Yesterday's low was way down here at 42.77, and it's also a poor low as well. Let me drag this down. So you can see, put in a poor low, we started to bounce up. We actually were able to catch up a lot of this upside on Friday, which was really cool. Traded for a long time on Friday. So the volume right now is about 20,000, so super weak. I think with the upside that we captured on Friday, people are still a little bit nervous on what they should be doing. Right? Let's take a peek at what this looks like on the cash session only. Move this over. So you guys can kind of see where this gap is at, right? I have it marked in purple. So this is where price is at right now as of Friday's close. Overnight session, right? We're trading a little bit higher, but not by much. And if we can get above into this space, right, there's not really much of a position there. You can see nice balance on above, it balanced above, and it's kind of been dodging this area, except for way back here in August, right, where it built some value, popped above it, used it as support, looked below, failed, used it as support, and then shot to this upside. And then so what I'm looking for is a break of that Friday's high. It could send, or especially a break of the 29th, September 29th high, could send us up, into this area and really open up this upside. And you can kind of see on Friday, wasn't the greatest volume, but as we went up, you can see the volume increasing every single time as the price is going up. Even over here, VPOC did shift to this upside. We did close below the volume, but there's a lot of buyers in here, right? So that's where the position is at. If we go to the futures or the session that shows the overnight, so we can see where the current position is at, right? Which is here. Here's the open. We trade above it. They already had the position from Friday. Trade above it. They're starting to sell everything that they gathered down here, right? We can see right off the bat forming this kind of P profile, right? So position, liquidation. Now we're trading with some upside. So what we're going to be watching is, right on our zone. We get below that 55, trading back down to the open. That's going to be the target. And above, depending upon how far we get above, we'll look to see if it's going to hit up yesterday's high or Friday's high. Look for some initiated buying, and might be able to get up there. We have a poor high in the overnight session. Let's see. Yeah, I'll let you know, Bearish, if I like it or not. I know the one that Druther's working on is really cool because it has the volume on the side too. I'm not sure about Sierra. I think most people that are trading crypto are using EXO charts, honestly, um, instead of Sierra. If they're, I mean, if like more professional traders or like uh, non-gambler types. Awesome. Glad to hear it, man. Crazy that volume goes up as price goes up, FOMO. Well, you got to think about it. So the volume could be, well, guaranteed it is a combination of a couple of things. So here's this. So this is Thursday's cash session, right? See the volume doesn't really increase on the way down. We get a little bit of pop, but not too much. We close here. We trade up a little bit. Don't really get past, don't really get anywhere back to the point of control. And then for the rest of the night, we trade down. The open, I think when the open was here, we kind of look back down into this volume. Buyers decided to step up. And then not only did they move the market up, but all of these people that got short early in the US session, if you were in the trading room with us, that wouldn't have been you because I was consistently telling people not to short. And if we looked at my, I don't even know if I took a short trade. Let me see. I don't know if I took a short trade on Friday at all, actually. I didn't. I didn't take a short trade at all. Not one. No short trades. So I was actually, I was walking, or I was doing what I was saying to do. Um, but so basically, what's happening in that situation when you have everyone overnight trying to get short, you had the previous day inventory short, and then you had the open, and then we traded down. So you had 3 sessions of basically people trying to get short. But when we didn't break the low of the overnight session, that was our key that we weren't going to keep going when we traded up. So the reason the volume is increasing is one, we're actually seeing buying, but two, all of these people are getting stopped out as well. And then up here on Friday is where they built the position. Now they're taking it up a little bit. They're selling it. If they see a big buyer step back up, then they'll keep pressing it up because there's liquidity trapped up here, short liquidity, right? And here's this gap up here. And that's where they want to go. They want to give me some of that gap, right? That's what I want to get, some of that gap. I don't think you did a short on Friday. Yeah, I don't think so. You use GoCharting? Yeah, GoCharting is nice. I don't know, it's going back and forth. I hate having to switch the tick size. That's the only thing I like about how easy ExoCharts is. That's what I like about it. It's so easy. But yeah, so pretty much that's it, guys. Just wanted to get a nice little Sunday update, and time for actually some dinner here pretty soon. We'll be making some carne asada tri-tip to go with some tacos, so it's gonna be good. But yeah, you guys have a wonderful night, and I'll be on the uh live trade room in the morning. If any of you guys are interested in learning about the live trading room or getting into the live trade room where you can trade live with us and get the trade plans and all of that stuff, just check out our website and at thetradevets.com. You'll find the information out. But other than that, appreciate you guys stopping by, and I will see you guys all in the Discord.